What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Gray Area. This is Eric Henderson.
This is the John of mine. How y'all doing today?
Oh, yeah. So we got a pretty interesting topic that we want to discuss this time for you all. So recently, my homie DJ and his partner, Midiana Scottala, they went to Miami for her birthday. And as you all know, we're still going through Corona, COVID, and all of that. And actually, Florida is one of the hot spots as long as, also with like a lot of the southern states. Isn't that like one of those things that a lot of the southern states is going on with that? Or is it,
Yeah, it is a lot of southern states. Basically anywhere there is a beach or sun, there is corona.
Yeah.
You would think that corona will be eliminated from places like Arizona, but it get 115, but corona's still going on strong.
Right, because didn't our president say that earlier before summer started that, once the heat hits, that corona is going to get wiped out, but that's just obviously not the case. And then he was like, oh, just drink some bleach. And it's just so.
Yeah. That was a good impression of him. Yeah, he said all that, and then, as soon as he said all that, he had to go back. But
exactly.
Yeah, so me and Midiana did take a trip out to Miami. This is around July 9th. I know it's well past due, but we just wanted to archive this moment in our area show.
Make sure we get this moment preserved, because this is an interesting time, because especially like two young people coming from a city and then going to a hot spot and then coming back. It's just like a lot of times you see on the news right now that many people would get corona and like not survive, and it's just like, oh, but you all didn't. Sorry to just jump in, but I guess we just gonna jump in. Didn't you all ended up getting tested for that? Like once you all got back, like how did that go for you all? Because I know you all, I feel like now we're working backwards. We're going from the back of your trip to the beginning, but I feel like that works fine. So like when you got back to Chicago, how did that like testing go for you all?
I mean, testing, it was pretty simple. I mean, we didn't get the nostril one where they stick it all the way to the back of your brain like they're trying to mummify you.
Lucky.
But we got the saliva test where they put the swab in your mouth. You basically swab it around for like 15 seconds. I mean, not 15, but like 25 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put in like a little bio hazard or whatever medical bag, and you send it off to the lab, and then you get it back to like 3 to 5 business days. And we got it back surprisingly in about 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
We went on a Friday. It came back on a Monday or Tuesday, and it said we was all clear, that we didn't have any virus and stuff like that that can spread corona.
Wow.
But like going into the trip, like in the beginning, Midiana first wanted to go on this trip because it was her birthday, and I didn't want to go because I understood that corona was taking over in a lot of places, especially where it was near beaches or where tourists was going, where you had a gathering of young people. And so we ended up buying the ticket anyway, because that's the type of person I am, very, I guess, gullible for his girlfriend.
No, you're not. It's not gullible. It's you being a supportive, loving boyfriend. And when your lady says, hey, baby, I want to go somewhere, you just do it because you got to make your lady happy.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. So, but then, like, as soon as we bought the ticket, like some hours ago, we see on the Chicago News on Channel 7, it was talking about that, anybody that is coming from these hotspots, specifically Miami, Arizona, California, will have to quarantine for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, crap. Now I got to quarantine when I come back. So the next day, we went on our trip. We had took the Uber to get there and stuff like that. Uber is very expensive, by the way, at this point in time, because you don't have the Uber pool. And when we got to the airport, as far as like CDC guidelines and like social distancing and stuff like that, it was like very slim and none. I mean, they made sure you had a mask on. They said if you refused to wear a mask, you wouldn't be able to get on the flight, so which was good. They had the list.
Did they do any of those thermometer checks at all, or were they just letting people in as long as they had a mask?
They didn't do any thermometer checks. It didn't even like exist. Like we came in and it was no thermometer. It was basically like it was mask and stays on the sticker. So that's what it was. And when we got on the plane, they gave us our little goodie bag of peanuts and waters in a little bag, because I guess they didn't want to walk through the house all the time.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, and then upon landing, we entered Miami, it was basically, I guess, A-OK, you would say. Stayed in the Airbnb. You know, they said they got they sanitizing measures and stuff like that. That you have to like close off the Airbnb for like 2 or 3 days to sanitize it, and then you can reopen it for use. So we stayed in one of those. And as far as like people, residents, residents seem like they care. You know, they wear their masks and stuff like that. But tourists, they did not care. Like everybody seen it as Corona hit, plane tickets are cheap, so I can take a cheap flight and get my vacation. Because these people was not wearing masks. And, you know, I want to say I want to give them some type of credit because it was hot, but it's still like it's Corona season, dead in the middle when you're in the hot spot, you should wear your mask.
Do you think that was more of like a young person's ideology and like mindset that it's like, oh, I'm young, I can fight this off? Or do you think, or was it just like across the boards, like older people, middle-aged people, those people that was coming there to do tourist stuff? Or was it mostly the young tourists?
I think it's younger people. In our minds, we feel like we're invincible to this stuff. We got the immune system that can beat it if you don't have any immune deficiencies already, but you feel like you can beat it. So as a young person, you're like, oh, I'm invincible. I ain't got to wear this mask. An older person, you come in there, they had their mask on. From when I say they did have a mask on. So that's what I think. That's that. It's the if it was a theory, it would be because it's because they're young.
So then I don't know. We haven't talked too much about it. Did you all go to like any clubs or any restaurants like that? And did you all see any people without any masks there? Like, how was the ordeal with masks when you actually went out to like public like spaces and stuff like that outside of just like going to a beach or stuff? But stuff that's
so clubs are closed, which, you know, you can't have people in close contact. A club is just a petri dish full of people that want to kiss, share drinks, and everything else. You just like that.
Intimate.
Yes, it was too intimate. So they closed the clubs.
Okay.
Luckily, we got to Miami when restaurants just started opening. I believe they said the 4th of July, they had it closed. They had the beach and everything closed. And what's interesting is they had a protest going on with businesses that were demanding that they stop opening and closing businesses because it affects the people who can apply for unemployment. Because with unemployment, you know, you need 6 months of work time to be able to be considered an unemployed person and receive all your benefits. So they were protesting against that. But while restaurants are open, they had their social distancing, the 6 tables 6 feet apart. When you walk into like the bathroom or the lobby of the restaurant, you had to have your mask on. But at the table, you can have your mask off. The waiter had their mask on and stuff like that.
Right. So just a quick follow-up, because you had mentioned that restaurants and stuff were doing protests. Were there any protests that you saw regarding the social unrest that's going on in this country?
I did not see any Black Lives Matter or any other allied protesters at that. No, I did not. It was basically all like vacation people.
Just vacation.
Just vacation.
It kind of makes sense because it feels like that's like the area where it's just like that silence factor. It's just like that's a place that you go to just have fun. Nobody's going to talk about it because you don't want to throw off the vibe and none of that stuff. So I feel like that's definitely an area where people just go to enjoy and have fun.
Yeah, and by the way, the area, if we didn't state it already, is we went to Miami Beach, Florida. Yeah.
Okay. How long did y'all end up staying out there?
We stayed there for like 5 days. 5 days, yeah. And then, you know, coming back, they wanted us to quarantine for the 2 weeks. But interesting enough, they don't check it. They don't check it at all. There's no paper you need to sign, no address linked to it. And ain't nobody checking up on you. So if you stand in the house, it's like all on your individual effort to do so. And I could have just said F it and went out, but, you know, being a good citizen of the world, I wanted to make sure that myself and Mediana were okay with not spreading the virus and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's kind of crazy because I remember when I was coming back from Iowa, Mayor Lightfoot had said that if you're coming from like a hotspot area, you have to quarantine for a selected amount of time. And I would have assumed that if you're coming in from like a border or something like that, or even a airplane, that they would have had some people there to like remind people and be like, okay, you just came from this area. Where did you come from? All right, you got to do this amount of quarantine and all of that. But it's just like, I feel like they just think people are going to do it on their own will. Like you said, like you all had that mindset and that mentality to, you know, quarantine on your own without nobody telling you to. But I feel like you said, a lot of people probably didn't do that. And it's just like, you know, fuck it. I mean, like, whatever.
Yeah, people did not have that mentality at all. We see it on the news. A lot of people don't have that mentality. They protesting having to wear masks and they feel like it's an infringement on their rights. It's just like put this piece of cloth over your face so
Right.
everybody else can be okay. I feel like there's a lot of people acting like children
Right.
wherein they should be acting like adults. This is when you see, like, in hard times, this is where you see the true character of people, if they actually care about their livelihood and others and their families and stuff like that. Because if there's a pandemic going around and flu viruses and people getting sick, people take precaution. You see people walking around with hand sanitizer and stuff like that, making sure they wear masks. But those are the individuals that you see like, oh, your maturity status is up here.
I definitely feel you on that. And that comment kind of leads into my next question. So why do you think Americans are like having trouble or problems like dealing with Corona compared to other countries? Because we saw at one point a lot of European countries had like dipped and they like crushed the curve or whatever. But like America was steady rising. So like what do you think is going on with the mentality?
I feel like Americans, we have a very I won't say privilege. It's just like deserving, or it's a word that I'm trying to get out. It's privilege, the mixture between privilege and deserving.
Entitled, maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Entitled. That's the word I was looking for. It's an entitled way where it's like, okay, we have our freedoms, and I'm not saying other European countries don't have their freedoms, but as far as like the way Donald Trump even enforced the laws and wearing masks and the stay-at-home order and stuff like that, he was saying, I put this on the states and to close everything down. This is the states, this is the businesses, this is y'all responsibility. The country of Italy, they was like, this is our responsibility. Everything is closed, all the shops. If you have something, if you have a business that is open, you're getting a fine. If you see walking down the street playing, you're getting a fine for how much time that you spend outside and stuff like that. So it's like they were more adamant on enforcing it, while we were like, oh, is this thing even real? Our president didn't believe in the coronavirus at first. So when you have somebody that's leading the country, exactly, and when you have like half of the country, let's say half of the country voted for this man and half of them had that mentality, you got half of the people not even caring. So he's not enforcing it. You got half of the people thinking the stuff ain't even real, that it's going to blow over by the end of summertime. So now you got people protesting and stuff like that they don't want to wear masks. So people are not believing in it. They don't think they're going to get it. They think, the flu in the past was just as dangerous as this. Was like, no, it's a whole different category. You just got to wait on it. And Corona was right around the corner, ready to hit you.
I'm saying, I feel like a lot of people are trying to equate it to the flu. And it's just like, obviously, if we're shutting things down and the CDC, like these national institutes are telling us to take these precautions, obviously it's something that we've never seen before. But I feel like even in myself, when Corona first started, it's just like, of course, you don't take it seriously. I don't know why that was my mentality, but it was just like, I'm like, yeah, like we talked about earlier, I'm young. I'm 23 years old. I have the immunization that will fight these diseases. And that was like a backwards mentality that doesn't get us anywhere, because then that led to so many people actually getting it. And then we just didn't know about it, because like how many of these CDC, they were saying, we don't know much about it. It's not much research. Even though a lot of people have been saying that with the COVID-19, that's a reincarnation of the previous diseases. That's why it's 19. But it's just like, we don't know specifically about this one. So it's just like, we're just left in this land of ambiguity. And it's just like, let's just pray that we're okay. And now that you have brought up Italy, sorry to backtrack, but you have brought up Italy. And I know your partner is from Italy, and they had crushed the curve at one point. But also, I heard that there might be a few more new cases there, because right now I'm looking at this NPR article, and it says South Korea faces new spike in COVID-19 after months of low infection rate. And it's like, at this point, it seemed like all those countries that had cut the curve and had broke it and was chilling are now starting to loosen up on their like restrictions and starting to elevate and go back up. So like, do you have any updates or from your partner or even from yourself regarding like what's going on in Italy?
So Mariana is from Rome, and just the country of Italy is going back up. They had all their restrictions taken off. People were going to beaches. People were going to clubs. When COVID did hit, you can only go to a grocery store and you had to have a letter, but all that was backtracking. They opened everything up. So
Whoa,
now
whoa, 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 wait, wait. So they had, I'm sorry, they had a doctor's letter. So you were like, sorry, I have a doctor's letter to
it
let
was
me out the house.
it was like basically like a hall pass. Like I told you, they were giving out fines to
Yeah,
people if they were seen on the street. So you
right.
had to have some, like, you go on the website to like the grocery store or something like that. You have to have like an appointed time to go to the grocery store to get food, because they were serious about this. They were
Whoa,
serious.
crazy. I did not, bro, I didn't know about any of that. I just thought it was just like how we do in America, how they just be like, okay, they put the little things on the floor and be like, okay, you got to go through this way. It's only one way. But I didn't know you had to like have
No,
appointments to go to the grocery
no,
store.
like we said, America was very ambiguous, and we're still ambiguous on how we handling COVID and who is enforcing it and who's not enforcing it. But they had it done as a unit. But yeah, so now cases are starting to increase because more human contact and whatnot. You know, you didn't, if the world did not get rid of COVID and the vaccine and stuff like that didn't come out, of course it's gonna come back. You're gonna get somebody that's gonna try to travel, or you're gonna have that one person that's like, oh, everybody else is going outside, I think it's okay, even if they're gonna be a carrier, they don't know it, so they're gonna go out, it's gonna start spreading it again. So it's like we think we're safe, but it's really not. It's a global pandemic for a reason. It's not a pandemic in one country. There is no vaccines. Everybody does not have, what does it say, herd immunity. So yeah, of course it's gonna go back up.
Bro, that's crazy. That's some stuff that it's just like that just went over my head. The fact that people have to like do little appointments about those things, because that like changes your everyday life and how you maneuver. And you gotta, I feel like you gotta think a lot ahead of time about what you're doing with your life regarding like just the simple things. Because it's just like if I need more food, I can't just wait till the last minute to go to the grocery store and get that. I have to think like 4 weeks, or not even 4 weeks, like 4 days down the line about getting some groceries if I had to take an appointment, bro. Do you even, just a quick follow up, do you even think America would have been able to do that, bro? Like just have appointments for like grocery stores and stuff like that?
This is what was gonna happen. Just like when people wanted to get their haircuts and they started protesting and whatnot,
Bro,
they would have started protesting if they could not get their appointments, or the grocery store was crowded. Like, these are the things as Americans that we can't get an appointment, we can't get our haircut, time to protest, time to bring up the guns and stand in front of the representative buildings and houses and stuff like that. So that's what we do in America, where it's like somebody telling us what to do. We don't like government control, which is, I don't think anybody like government control, but we really hate it. So
right.
if it would have happened to us trying to take appointments to go to the grocery store, it would have been some mess.
Damn. All right, man. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. This has been some crazy stuff. I definitely got to learn some more about what's going on internationally with these different countries regarding COVID, because it seems like it's just like a case by case, country by country. Everybody is doing their own thing. It's just like we understand we have the WHO, the World Health Organization, but it's just like how much are they doing and how much power do they actually have regarding like actual nations? And it's just like crazy. So my last question before we head out is, do you think America is going to go into quarantine again, and like all the restaurants, bars, and all of that stuff is going to close down, and we're going to have to be in our house again on lockdown?
Yeah. I mean, we have other countries that have led the wave. And like they always say, we about a month or a couple of weeks behind Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Italy worked is they were all the way up here. Then they started beating the curve, and now they're going back up. America, we're still here. So we have a beat the curve. Most likely we're going to go back up if the vaccine don't come interrupt, or some type of miracle don't interrupt that time. So I believe, just like Italy, we'll be back in quarantine and back to the social distance, the new norm, as they say.
Bro, I feel you on that, because so I go to University of Iowa, for those you all that's watching that don't know, and so it's about 30,000 to 32,000 students that go to this school. So recently over the summer, all the students were gone, but then like once you got into late July, not even late July, probably mid-July, you can see the amount of cars that's starting to come back, that's in the parking lots, that's just parking around the town. And now the whole university is like coming back, and all the students are coming back. And now they're facing like fights within the students, within faculty, within staff, within community members, like with this backlash about like, let's just have them do online classes, because that's like literally the smart thing to do, instead of like putting people's health and lives at risk because they don't want to lose money. Because I feel like that's a lot of what's going on with a lot of these countries and a lot of like organizations. And bro, we don't even, speaking on these sports organizations, that's a whole different conversation. Like, they don't want to lose money regarding this COVID. And it's just like, but you're not putting people's health at the first priority. So it's just like, I don't know. I honestly think we will go back into this quarantine because I'm seeing 30,000 people come back to this school, and all of them are coming from different areas. Some of them may be coming from Minneapolis. Some of them may be coming from Florida. Some of them may be coming from freaking California. And we don't know who they was in contact with. And there's no like regulations, no restrictions. And there's no like actual testing that they're doing for these students. They're just like doing it like, okay, students, make sure you tell us. It's like an honor system. It's like, but these students aren't going to do that, man. They have like these little care packages that they're going to do. They're going to give people 2 masks and then a face shield. It's just like, yeah, that's cool. People might do that when they have to go to campus and to class. But when these people go to these bars, when they just out in regular life, bro, they don't have not jack squat. And they're all close to each other. And it's just like, I think we're just leaving it too much to people to do it for themselves, and it's just like, okay.
But remember, we America.
Exactly.
I don't like government control either, but at the same time, I like to think that a nation is full of mature people that can make common sense and understand what a pandemic is and how much information they need to make a mature decision. But that's not the nation we live in. But
it's also like a matter of the people that are leaders in this nation to do the right thing. It's just like we see that a lot of these leaders are just very lackadaisical and just like, I'm gonna just throw my hands up and let like you said, let the states individually deal with it. But I feel like this is not a matter of individual states. This is a matter of the full. Sorry, viewers and listeners. I'm getting into it. This is a matter of the full federal government to get and control this matter, because it's just like, we see what individual states are doing. Not everybody has the same like end goal in mind. Like what works on the West Coast may not necessarily work on the East Coast, may not necessarily work in the Midwest, may not necessarily work in the South. So we gotta like do things on the same level. We can't have everybody doing individual things. That's what's getting us in this same perpetual cycle of nothing. We're just running in this hamster wheel with no like intent to stop at all. And it's just like, what? I don't understand why we're doing this to ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, now we got to leave it to our viewers. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please comment. Please hit us up at thegrayarea.talk. That's gray spelled with an E. You can email us at thegrayarea.talk@gmail.com. That is gray spelled with an E. Eric, you got any last things to say?
Man, everybody, please just, it may be annoying, it may be uncomfortable, but please wear face masks. I also have to reinforce that to myself because sometimes I forget those things. And just keep yourself clean. Like, keep your hands clean, all of that, man. Because, like, everybody hates being in this situation, but the more that we don't do the right things, the more we're going to be in this situation. So it's just as easy as that. It's like they said, actions speak louder than words. So just make sure we do the necessary things we got to do, man, and be safe out here. What about you? What about you, DJ?
That's it for me. All you got is 2 peace signs and love.
Hey, all right, before we leave, though, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff, man. Like DJ said, send us any ideas that you have in your comments, and we love y'all.
Stay safe.
Peace.